Hello, everyone, and welcome back to
The Lo and Zo Show.
So we have a very special episode for you guys today. We are so excited to be sharing a very recent manifestation story with you guys.
And this is a manifestation success story.
Yeah.
We have successfully manifested ourselves an amazing studio, which you can probably already tell by the difference in sound here, and probably excitement in our voices, really.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the mindset that led to this manifestation that directly has to do with the Lo and Zo Show.
Yeah, so let's get started.
I'm Lo.
And I'm Zo, and this is The Lo and Zo Show.
We're coaches and entrepreneurs who firmly believe that an abundant mind is the key to an abundant life.
On this podcast, we're going to be talking everything from how to manifest more money, travel, success in business, and beyond,
to overcoming the blocks that are holding you back,
to rewiring your brain so you can easily attract whatever it is you want the most in life.
If you haven't already, be sure to join us inside our Facebook community, the Queen Mind Tribe, for daily tips, mindset hacks, manifesting tricks, and more that'll allow you to build the confidence you need
to manifest the abundant AF life you deserve.
Now let's get started. So if you guys have been listening to us since episode 1, which really only came out a couple of weeks ago, you may have noticed that our sound was not all that high quality, to be completely honest with you guys. We essentially had a $130 mic that I purchased off Amazon that was plugged into my MacBook computer, and we were recording it first in Zoe's walk-in closet.
Yes.
And the reason that we recorded in a walk-in closet is because we both have very newer condos that are just a lot of empty space, essentially. A lot of white walls where sound really bounces off. So I find whenever I record something in an open space, especially in one of our condos, that you can really hear that echo back. And so we started in Zoe's closet. Do you want to talk about that first episode that we recorded?
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of fun because we were both really excited and we had a lot of ideas and we busted out a few different episodes in a single day. But, if you can imagine, we're sitting on my closet floor, which is a hardwood floor.
And it's not a big walk-in closet either.
And plus we had pillows piled up on the sides of the walls. And you can imagine, we had pins and needles happening in our legs, but we sat there with smiles on our faces and recorded the first episodes of the Lo and Zo Show.
Well, in the first episode, especially because we were trying to remember how we had all those tech problems with the mic not working, or it was crackling. It's not the greatest mic. I'm pretty sure it's already broken. And so we recorded a few things that just really didn't sound good. We kept trying to add more pillows. It was you and me shoved into a small walk-in closet with the mic between us with pillows all around us. And we recorded that first episode. We felt really good about it, but we were super not happy with the audio.
Yeah, and we knew it wasn't good, but we just kept on this lens of there's lots of room for improvement.
Yes, exactly. And so we kind of want to tell the story of where we started versus where we are now, which really is not, it hasn't been a long time at all. But yeah, so we recorded the first 5 episodes in Zoe's closet in one day, and then the next episodes, I believe you came over to my place.
Yes,
and we recorded it in my closet, which is just a little bit bigger, and
the most recent ones were recorded back in my closet.
Yeah. So we've been basically going back and forth, and so basically what ended up happening was every time we would sit down in one of our closets to record a podcast episode, we would make this joke about, well, this is just temporary, we're going to have a sound studio. Right?
Yeah.
It's really only up from here. And I actually told Zoe the story, I'm pretty sure, that the first couple photo shoots that I've had were me walking around with a photographer following me and carrying a big bag of clothing on my shoulder around Toronto and taking pictures in different outfits and stuff. And more recently, Zoe and I had a photo shoot where we had a space and we had, racks for our clothes, and it was just way more organized. And I was our podcast recording space and quality is going to up level the same way that my photo shoots have in my business, which was a friend of mine following me around with a camera as I carried 3 different outfits on my back, sort of the same as, us sitting on the floor in our closet. So just kind of having that mindset of this is just where we have to start.
Yeah. And I think what's also to be said about that is that we knew that it wasn't perfect, but we still put it out there anyways. And we knew that maybe this wasn't the quality that we wanted, but we still took action and edited them and, of course, published them for you guys. And we still were so excited behind it. We still are excited. And we just kept that momentum going, that unwavering faith in ourselves and the belief of what we were doing, because we truly wanted to put out this content, and we truly were so excited and are still so excited about the Lo and Zo Show. So it's meaningful to us, and we just kept that in our hearts and our minds the entire time.
Yeah. And I think that like often I talk to entrepreneurs who are getting started and they have that perfectionist mindset around like, I can't put it out there until it's perfect. And Zoe and I are both, a couple of years into our business, you're further along. And we still understand that you have to it's all about a lot of imperfect action. So we recorded that first episode, we listened back and we were disappointed that it was very like tinny sounding, but we were like, but we just loved this discussion that we had. It was so like everything that we wanted it to be. We were really proud of the way that the conversation just kind of flowed. And we said, you know what, we're not going to re-record this because people want the content, right? Like they want the authentic conversation around something that's important to them, and the quality is going to get better.
Yes.
So
definitely.
That was really our mindset with it. It wasn't perfect and we were okay with that. And I think like definitely as a coach who helps other entrepreneurs, that is such an important distinction to have of like, it does not, perfect is a state of mind, by the way, because if we decided that it wasn't perfect, we would even find reasons to feel that way about it right now, right? With all the proper mics and technology in the world behind us, we could still find things that we weren't happy about.
Exactly. But when you leave room for improvement, you get to look back on the journey and be so happy and excited about how everything unfolds for you. And I could draw this back to my journey with YouTube, as so many people ask me, how do you get started? Which camera did you have? Blah, blah, blah. I filmed some of my first videos on my iPhone. And you guys, I didn't have a tripod until after at least 1 year that I was on YouTube.
Yeah.
I literally would move my bedside table over, pile up a bunch of books, and balance my camera on it. And that was my tripod for the first year. And even then, I didn't even have the nicest camera. I only got my G7X after probably a year and a half into my YouTube channel because I couldn't carry on this bigger camera anymore when I wanted to vlog. It just was, I had to be unavailable for that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I often encourage people to go and take a look at my first YouTube videos because I like cut half of my head off. The camera is focused on the background. I was like sick and I sounded really like, I don't know, just not good. I sounded sick. My voice wasn't clear. And I was like rambling on for 15 minutes about a smoothie. And like, but I just remember being like, I'm just going to put this out there.
Yeah.
And like, thank God that I did. Right. So, yeah. And that's still something, even us being this far along now in our just process of publishing content online, we're still like, it's not perfect and that's okay.
Yes.
Right.
And I think the bigger message is that always behind it has been this excitement in what we're doing and this belief in ourselves.
Yes.
And just being our own best friends, really, because when you are an entrepreneur and you have to put out new ideas and you have to try all new different things, you are your support system.
Yeah.
Because it's not always going to be received by your environment, which is also going to be touched on in another episode.
Yeah.
But you have to be the one who believes in yourself, and you have to build that relationship with yourself.
And something else I want to add to that too is like a lot of the time the content we're putting out is not actually for us. It's for the people that are going to consume it, right? It's for the people who need it, who are actively calling it forth in their life experience. And so the more you hold yourself up from putting it out there out of this need for it to be perfect, the more you are really kind of doing a disservice to those people. So they don't need it to be perfect. You trying to make it perfect is all about you, right? So
exactly. And people aren't always attracted to perfect, you know?
Right.
It can
It's
seem
not very relatable.
it's not relatable, and you know, it's your real that makes you rare.
Yeah. So anyways, that was not actually I think that was like such a great thing to talk about. But our intention with this episode was to share about how in that mindset of it's good and we're happy with where it's at and reaching for more, which is like one of my favorite Abraham quotes, which is happy with where you're at or satisfied with where you're at while reaching for more is the most powerful point of attraction. So do you want to sort of tell the story, Zoe, because it technically was like your manifestation that had us now be coming to you from a sound studio in Toronto in a media recording company. No, what's the space how would you describe the space that we're in?
Media studio.
Yeah, media studio. So there's a lot of Toronto's big TV shows and radio stations are recorded in this building. So in
a very convenient location to us.
Yeah. So do you want to tell the details around?
Yeah, I'll tell the details. So it was incredible because actually Laura and I attended this vegan festival, Veg Fest, I guess. When was that? A month ago now? 2 months ago?
Yeah, something like
Time
that.
flies. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the summertime, actually, it's fall. Okay. So we were at a vegan festival and I met one of my amazing subscribers, which is Karita. And it always is so nice to meet you guys. And when you come up and say hello, because I don't know you. And so like, and
it makes it real.
It makes it real because as I've expressed in some videos and more recently, it's like, it's just me sitting there talking to a camera, just like Laura and I are sitting here talking to microphones. Is we don't know you and we don't know the effect that we might have on your life. But when you just get a taste of that, a glimpse of that, just hearing other people's stories, it just ignites something in you, just ensures that what you're doing and how you're putting yourself out there is received in the ways that you're hoping it to be received. Because I honestly think my YouTube channel and everything that Laura and I are doing is so channeled. It's just, we're called to do this. It just feels that way. Yeah. And so to know that other people have received it and it's touched their lives in some ways, so special. So we met Karita, and so she is just an amazing connection to make. After that, I connected with Karita on Instagram, and Laura and I went about launching this podcast, and just want to shout out another big thank you to everyone who is consistently sharing it on social media to get the word out. Yeah. And then a few weeks later, Karita reached out after Laura and I had been joking around about how we're going to upgrade.
That was the thing. Is like, even last Monday, we recorded a couple episodes in my closet, like just less than a week ago. And even then you're like, did you see the photo I posted today? It's like beside one of these studios on Queen Street West, because I'm channeling our new studio space. And I'm sort of like, I mean, Zoe is the most magical manifestor I've ever met, where like things just like, because in my mind, I'm like, yeah, like we're totally going to have a studio. We're obviously not going to sit in a closet forever, but it wasn't something I ever imagined being soon. Whereas you're just like, I just throw this stuff out there because why not?
Yeah.
Like,
and fun. I think one other thing to be said about what Laura just pointed out is that it's always in my mind. It's always like, even if it's just a photo that probably means nothing to anyone else, I connect it back to my dreams and my goals and my intentions. Yeah. And I think that adds to my momentum towards my manifestations, which is why I think like magical things tend to occur in my life, is because I tie it all back to my dreams.
Well, we can talk about that a little bit in terms of why I think you're such a powerful manifestor at the end of the story. But so then 2 days later, you send me this message from someone. Oh no, from
Karita. Yeah. So a few days later, then Karita sends me just this wonderful message introducing us to Jackie, who is sitting with us right now and helping us out with this podcast. And we just appreciate
Yeah, well, so Karita messaged and said, hey, Zoe, I've been listening to your podcast. I love it. I noticed that you've had some problems with sound, which is so true. Yeah. And I have, a friend of mine who's a sound technician who is looking to, and this is Jackie sitting with us right now, who's looking to work on her or add podcasts to her resume, essentially.
Yes.
And she works at a sound studio in Toronto, which again is part of what we love about this is the location of where this sound studio is. It could have been anywhere in Toronto, but it happened to be super, super convenient for us. Yeah. And, in off hours, she would love to help you guys. When the studio isn't being used, she'd love to help you guys record episodes of the Lo and Zoe show for free.
Yeah.
And help you edit it and everything like that. So I don't know. I just when I read it, it was just I wanted to sort of tell or read more of what she actually said in that message, because it was just so perfect.
Yes, it was so perfect. Yeah. It was so kind and so generous. And I think
that was 3 days ago.
Yeah. And that just goes to show us that you never know who is going to receive the content in a positive way. And, the more you put out into the world, the more it comes back to you in magical ways.
Yeah, and what I want to say, because I'm totally giving Zoe credit for this manifestation, is that you really prioritize being happy over anything else. Even when we were recording on Monday, you're like, I just need a quick dance break. I need to raise my vibes. And you're just playful about everything, where you're like, don't worry, Laura, we're getting our studio, this is temporary, because I'm I can't walk for 5 minutes because my legs are numb. Yeah. Cross-legged in a closet for an hour. So I think it's that, you just find ways to be satisfied. And you had such, I love the podcast, obviously, but I already have a podcast. And so you were just this is just my favorite thing ever. I just love our podcast. I know where this is going, Laura. We're going to have our own show. We're going to, we were just joking around about all this kind of stuff.
But I'm serious.
But you're serious. Exactly. I'm haha, okay, so, yep, we'll see what happens kind of thing. But
and then I send you the message Laura.
I know.
In the studio, it's here already.
I need to, what I told a friend of mine about this, and she went and bought your book, Manifest Miracles, because she's Zoe knows something that I don't know.
It's true, though. I just think, my biggest thing with Law of Attraction, and you pointed this out in our mindset work this week, actually, was that you prioritize feeling good over everything else. And it's something that I know that I do, but I didn't actually know, if that makes sense. But Laura acknowledged me about that, and I recognized, of course I do. That's how I start my day every day, or that's why I have dance parties whenever.
Yeah, because you're just
I just need to feel good.
You're looking for that appreciation day to day, and the appreciation is focusing on things that you already love, and by doing that, you just get more and more of those good things. Yeah. Right. So. Yeah. So I think just like we wanted to kind of wrap this episode up with talking about taking that into your day-to-day life, regardless of what you are trying to call forth, finding things to appreciate, finding things to feel good, because, you know, we knew that the podcast wasn't perfect, but we loved it anyways. And we were really proud of it. And like, sometimes I would listen back to an episode and be like, oh, I wish like the sound was a bit better. But I'd be like, yeah, but listen to what we're talking about. Like, I really believe in what we're putting out there. And like, we did it with fun. Yeah. And I mean,
I'm telling you, I'm this podcast's biggest fan. Like,
she does.
I literally like listen to all the episodes more than once because I'm just like, yeah. And you know, maybe the other day when I was in a lack mindset, I'm like, I'm going to go listen to our abundance podcast to make me feel better. So,
well, and like, I'm always the one to upload just because I know how to do all that kind of stuff. And I'm always like, okay, so our episode is up. And you're like, I'm on it. I'm already listening. I'm halfway done. I'm like, how do you know that?
Notifications on.
And then she's like, Laura, did you listen to it yet? I'm like, so we recorded it 2 days ago. Like, I haven't listened to it yet. It's okay, I will. It's just like, no, I listened to it twice already. It was so good. So like, anyways, just be that like in love with anything, whatever it is that you are up to, whatever it is that you're putting out into the world, be it your work, be it your business, your message, it doesn't matter. Just have that kind of energy around it, and you know, the right things will come to you for it.
Yeah, show up as your best friend.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's all. That's our manifestation story, and we're really excited to be coming to you guys with just higher quality episodes. And thank you so much, Jackie.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie, and thank you to Karita.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see you guys next episode.
Yeah, see you later.
Thank you guys so much for spending a piece of your day with us and tuning into the Lo and Zo Show.
If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to rate it and share on social media. Be sure to tag us.
Until next time,
stay abundant.